Support for Big Think comes from Microsoft, delivering people-ready enterprise solutions designed to help companies do more with less. Details at microsoft.com/peopleready.
I'm Alice Rivlin, and I'm a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution. There's some quite obvious things that companies can do right now, depending on what kind of companies they are. If we're fixing our crumbling infrastructure, then companies that specialize in doing that will benefit. If we're giving more people access to broadband, that is certainly an opportunity. If we're making our healthcare system more efficient, there will be some people who will lose by that, but there will also be both providers and the healthcare technology industry that will benefit. The stimulus plan is, I think, widely misunderstood because people think of it as just infrastructure. It is partly that, but the most important part of the stimulus, I thought, were the parts that got money to individuals so that they could keep paying their bills. That means the food stamp part, the unemployment benefits increase, the modest increase in Social Security benefits, and the other part that seemed to me very important were the benefits to states to keep them from cutting back on their services. So, and I didn't even mention the tax cuts, which go to ordinary people. Those things will keep demand up, it will keep consumption up, and it'll benefit businesses across the board. There's no special benefit here. It just means that people will not be cutting back on their consumption as much as they ordinarily would have. We were bringing a lot of talent to Wall Street that, in my opinion, would have been better employed doing something else. The financial services industry got way out of kilter with the rest of the economy. Financial services are supposed to be serving the rest of the economy. Actually, our financial services industry got into a position where it was largely servicing itself. We don't need that many smart people inventing more and more complex derivatives and instruments to sell to each other. There is very little social benefit in that activity. Now, I don't mean we can close down all derivatives markets or anything like that, but if compensation in financial services is less astronomical and we attract less of our high-skilled talent into financial services and more of it into other parts of the economy, it'll be all to the good. This massive disaster has certainly exposed weaknesses in the financial sector. Some we knew were there, many we didn't. And we need a drastic overhaul, I think, on two fronts. Partly it is a question of modernizing our regulatory system, which simply did not keep up with the advances in financial innovation and globalization that were happening all around us. That means stricter regulation for major institutions that are very interlinked with the rest of the economy and indeed with the global economy. They can't be too strict. We need those major institutions. The second front, which I think is more important, is we need to go over our economic structure, our economic architecture, and look for perverse incentives. Places where there are incentives that mean that people can make a lot of money doing something really risky. Now, we had a good example of that in mortgage lending. The mortgage lending standards got very lax, in part because we missed a perverse incentive. We missed the fact that the loan originator has no reason to worry about the creditworthiness of the borrower if he doesn't keep any of that risk himself. If he's just selling this mortgage to somebody else as part of a package backing a bond issue, then he has no reason to worry about whether the borrower can repay. That was a perverse incentive. It had been there for a while, but nobody noticed it. It was the big influx of capital into the mortgage-backed security market, a lot of it coming from overseas, that exposed this weakness, and we have to look for things like that and change them. I think that President Obama has to work right now on the thing that is most important, namely getting out of this recession and getting the financial services industry functioning again. If he doesn't accomplish that, and I think he will, it will be a disaster for business. We need a functioning economy where people have jobs. We need to be a more sustainable economy than we were before, both in an environmental sense and in the sense that we need to save more and finance more of our own investment out of domestic saving. I think that will happen because people who borrowed too much and consumed too much got badly burned. But we need an economy which is functioning well and in which people are saving more, borrowing less, and doing more productive work.
Support for Big Think comes from Microsoft, delivering people-ready enterprise solutions designed to help companies do more with less. Details at microsoft.com/peopleready.